Today is our last day in Bogota and we're going to spend the day basically walking around La Candelaria trying as many of the different Colombian foods as we can. Yum.
Next thing we're getting is actually illegal.
I'm not sold.
Normally we start these food tour days with a coffee, and being that we are in the third largest coffee producing country on the planet, you would think that's a given, but they don't actually drink it that much here. So instead, we're going for something pretty different, very traditional, and a little bit unusual. Our first stop on the Colombian food day is here in the Santa Maria Cafe, which sits in the original plaza of Bogota. Like, Bogota started in this tiny plaza and then expanded as to how big it is now. We've got a hot chocolate for breakfast, which doesn't seem that unusual, but we've done it the Colombian way, which means it comes with a big blob of mozzarella cheese. We thought you might eat it on the side, but that's not the way you do it when it's traditional. You have to dump the cheese in the hot chocolate, let it soak up all that sugar and chocolatey goodness, and then when you finish your drink, you eat it with a spoon at the end. I am very skeptical, but I love cheese and I love chocolate. Let's see how they go together. It is mozzarella, but it's like almost halloumi vibes to it, like it squeaks a lot. It tastes quite nice, so. Oh wow, the hot chocolate bit is amazing, and she's got like cinnamon on top and I think cured a little bit, so add something to it definitely. It's a really good hot chocolate. I kind of don't want to ruin it with cheese. I don't think this is going to get interesting until we get to the end of the drink and we have to eat the cheese. It's kind of mixed with the cinnamon bark on the bottom, but I genuinely enjoy it. I'm a big halloumi fan, and it kind of seems like halloumi. A little bit of sweetness to it now. This might not be the last time I get this, believe it or not.
I'm not sure if we did this right. Maybe we should have put the cheese in a bit quicker, because the photos I've seen online, the cheese gets really, really melty, and ours is like soft but not super melty. It's the whole salty and sweet thing, like it's really good. Oddly enough, this isn't the only time cheese is going to be added to something that we find quite unusual. Our next stop has that as well. We have come to Mercado de la Concordia, which is a market kind of close to the quarter we were at just before, and there is a fruit salad shop in there. But in Colombia, fruit salad isn't just fruit. It is fruit, what looks like tomatoes, cheese, and ice cream.
Try and name all the fruits.
I have no idea. I can recognize strawberries, what looks like tomatoes, grapes, and apple. There was this weird fruit that was like this big and all spiky that one of the girls was like getting bits out of, and it looked all milky and weird, and I was like, oh, is that this fruit here? And she was like, yeah, and then she gave me a bit, and it weirdly kind of tastes like passion fruit. So that's in here somewhere, I think beneath the cheese. Oh, there's also like condensed milk involved as well, and like a berry jam kind of looking thing. I'm so excited for this. It seems, again, so weird that it's gonna be good. It made me laugh that everyone was wearing gloves except for the guy that was making our fruit, and he handed me the piece of the like passion fruity kind of fruit to try, and he was so careful to put the toothpick in it without touching it, but then he touched every single bit of fruit that was in here. They also took so much care. Every time I was like, okay, that's that layer done, like surely we're moving on to the final step now. There was like 5 more things coming in. It was intense. And of course, what fruit salad wouldn't be complete without a scoop of ice cream and a wafer? Okay, well that's definitely cheese, condensed milk, some jam looking compote, and a strawberry and an apple. I'm not sold. I think maybe I got too much cheese. I did read online that it's like such a personal dish. Like everyone likes their ratio differently. Some people like a lot of cheese and hardly any fruit. Some people have it without cheese. So I think this is one of those dishes that it'll take a while to figure out. Oh, I'll only pick up a little bit of cheese. This one has ice cream. That one was better. I like the ice cream.
Strawberry, cheese, and some sauce that they put on it too. There's literally so many things in here. I could not keep track of how many, like, I'm thinking like upwards of 15 different items in this. The flavors are weird. I think I got a good bite though. That was nice. I think it's because I got a hidden piece of banana, why I like that so much. So many different flavors from wherever you take it from. I like it. Colombia is 2 for 2 so far in my books.
I think I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was, so that's disappointing. But our next stop is a very famous soup.
Where we've come for this soup is La Poita Falsa, which I think translates into the false door, but our Spanish is absolutely horrific. We're working on it. We've come here to get the famous soup called Ajiaco. From what I understand, it is just like a chicken soup. It's got a bit of corn in there, but this place is super famous for it, and they've got a really cool backstory. They're 200 years old, and their backstory is, like, I hope it's true, but it's hard to believe. That was our fail. It's still early in the morning, but they've run out of the soup that we wanted. So I have to find somewhere else. And it means you don't get the cool story.
So we've come next door. Apparently this place is quite good too. The guide from our free walking tour recommended this place. It's his favourite.
Oh.
Wow. That goes in. Sí. Only a little, okay.
Poquito y miren a veces sí. Y este sí falta.
Okay, sí, gracias. So this soup, this is a like chicken and potato soup that comes with a serving of rice and some avocado on the side. Our tour guide from the other day said that to not put that in, you kind of eat it on the side. Like the avocado you can put in if you want, but the rice is just on the side. It looks insanely good. I can't believe this is meant for one person because it's so intense. One thing I do love is that a lot of the Colombian dishes are filled with potatoes, and that's because, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but we are at quite a high altitude, so apparently our body burns carbs a lot quicker, so we get to eat more potatoes. I'm not complaining. It looks delicious. It looks like something your grandma would make you if you were feeling sick. It smells incredible, doesn't it? It smells homemade. It smells like there's a grandma out there cooking for us. Ready? Yum. That might be my favourite thing today so far. It is exactly what you want it to be. It's like a creamy, almost mashed potato base with chicken in it. Yum.
It's a monstrous serving. If you come here, one between two should be fine, especially if you're eating all the other stuff that we're eating today. Really high quality chicken, and then coated in mashed potatoes, like almost like a KFC potato and gravy, those sorts of potatoes, just slathered through. I'm pretty sure I read that this is something that they have for breakfast here. The last restaurant we tried that we couldn't get any from, like, it's not midday yet and they're completely sold out, so it must be breakfast food. Have you eaten a potato yet?
Not by itself.
You're gonna love those. They're really good. Wow. Oh, it's apparently there's also a whole bit of corn in it.
I don't know how to say this in a polite way, but it's like deliciously bland. Like the flavors are just chicken and potato. Like it's not too herby, it's not chili, it's delicious, but it's bland. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is something I can see myself ordering again, for sure. But I'd need you to order it with me because this is ridiculous. Especially we got a serve of rice on the side, like as if there wasn't enough carbs.
That was a very satisfying brunch. Next thing we're getting is our second drink of the day, and it's actually illegal. This is Chicha, brewed originally from corn. It was ground between the teeth of women, and then their saliva was used to ferment it. Thankfully today, the brewing is done with grinding stones and yeast, a bit more hygienic. It has been around since the pre-Colombian times, and over the centuries has gone through a lot. Everyone's trying to ban this thing. It is slightly alcoholic, I think at about 4 or 5%, and doesn't look very nice. This was the drink in Colombia for hundreds of years, and then big business showed up. The story goes that a German beer company came into Colombia and just kept expanding. Eventually they felt a bit threatened by the sale of this traditional and very, very popular drink, so they started to discredit Chicha and put ads in newspapers and magazines, effectively saying that the drink is poison and it will make you violent and everyone who's in prison is a Chicha drinker. At that same time, they were also putting ads for their beer saying that it's safe for children. Who's to be believed? Eventually, in the 40s, the government got involved and legitimately banned this drink. So it is literally illegal for us to be having it right now in the streets of Colombia. People didn't want to give up their traditions that easily though. These days, it's kind of an open secret that it's banned because police know that it's sold, police buy it themselves, but they still put it in a brown paper bag. To try and stay as close to the original, we got the traditional flavor. And it's really hard to describe. It's got every sort of flavor. Like it's sweet and sour at the same time. Kind of tastes like a health drink. There's like a little bit of ginger in there or something, but you see guys everywhere with big bottles offering you to try some in this little cup to try and buy a bottle. Pretty good.
The funny thing is you see kids after school all walking around with brown paper bags. Like it's 4% alcohol, so it's not that alcoholic, but it's gone from like illegal to in these suburbs where it's still sold, everyone drinks it. It's such an interesting flavor. It's like umami, it's all of the flavors. And this one has a cute little label on it that you won't see because it goes in the brown paper bag. I do think this is actually meant to help you digest, which is perfect for right now. So those potatoes are working away, but to give it some extra time before our next food, we're gonna go play a game.
The day is not going flawlessly. That place was closed, and now we're gonna go find, I think, Arepas.
Yeah.
And again, another place that doesn't exist at all. So we're gonna go to a food cart instead that should sell this food we're after, the arepas.
This is an arepa. We have had them before. It's kind of like we keep calling it a Colombian pancake, but this is arepa con queso, which means it's filled with cheese. Yum. The dough's like oddly sweet. These ones are like spinning around, being flame grilled as well. Delicioso.
How much were they?
And they were only 2,500 pesos, which is an amount of money.
So the arepa is another traditional food that was here before colonization. Corn fritters that can be filled with meat or cheese, but apparently there's like dozens of different fillings and different combinations that you can get wherever you go all around Colombia, and even just in like Bogota itself. So this one is a queso or a cheese arepa. Quite good. Next thing we're getting is really weird as well. More cheese and has a little bit of celebrity to it too.
Is there cheese in the next one?
It's like a 10-minute walk to our next thing, which is the celebrity food. But it has started raining.
So normally I believe there is cheese involved in this. We have had a lot of cheese today, so ask for it sin queso. All of the stalls that sell this have photos of Mick Jagger on it, because when he was here, he got one. So they all claim to be the stall that sold Mick Jagger his waffle biscuit sandwich thing. It looks like dessert. It looks like she put in this like caramel sauce and then some berry compote between two waffle-looking sandwiches.
Crunchy.
It's kind of like a stroop waffle, but with jam inside.
That is a weird caramel and jam flavor, like smooshed together. And something else in there, like the jam's got bits in it too, but it has started to rain, so I think it's the perfect time to finish this food tour. Colombian food's crazy. We tried so many different things. Most of them had cheese.
Also couldn't really find any of the history as to why they went fruit salad, let's add cheese and ice cream.